Hello everyone, and welcome to So Many Games, So Little Time. My name is Joachim, and today we're going to look at all the games that I've played in February 2021. Now we're still hit by COVID, but luckily I have my neighbor downstairs, shout out to Teresa, and then some of my friends at school, shout out to Kine and Christina, who are willing to play with me and who are also avid gamers. So I managed to play 28 games this month, 28, which is not a personal record, but it's close because the record is like in the summer holiday, right? When you have a lot of time. So yeah, only 4 of those games I don't own. So 24 of them I do. And I'm going to start with those 4. Obviously with those 4 I don't have the boxes. And some of the other ones that I own, I also don't have the box here, because it's at school or I lent it to a friend or some other reasons. Okay? Alright, let's get started, shall we? The first game that I want to talk about is Scythe. I've played it a couple of times now. First time I ever played it, I was really bad at it. Second time was a little bit better, but in general, I'm pretty bad at it. Because in Scythe, you're supposed to keep an eye on so many things. You're supposed to make sure that you, because I'm forgetting all the terms here, but you're supposed to upgrade and always keep in mind of what other people might upgrade so you can take advantage of that. Make sure you have enough territories for scoring at the end of the game. Make sure you unlock the 6 stars so the game can end, but also of course getting the stars will also get you a lot of advantages. And I don't know, I'm just always too busy building up. And it's like I'm too narrow-minded or something when it comes down to Scythe. Also I don't know. And we played it online as well, but online I kind of really disliked it because there's no undo button. So in a board game you can be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then, no, wait. No, I'm gonna do this instead. In the game you cannot. Once you click, it's stuck. So it happened several times and I was like, no, shoot, right? So Scythe, I like it. Will I own it? No. And the reason why is because my friend owns it. So there's no reason for me to own it. If I really want to play it, I can always ask him or join one of his games. And yeah, I think I'll be able to join his games without a problem because I'm so bad at it. So I'm like an easy competition. Alright, so that's Scythe. So let's move on to the next one, shall we? So the next one is The King is Dead. The King is Dead is a very simple game. Very simple. Doesn't take long to play, like 20-30 minutes. And so The King is Dead, it's England that you're playing with, and some other parts around, basically Great Britain and whatever. I forgot the map exactly how it is. It has all these old names from back in the medieval times, and everybody starts with the same amount of cards, the same deck of cards, and on your turn you just choose one to play. Now basically what you're going for is you are trying to gamble and also manipulate one faction to win. Because you have 3 colors. You have red, blue, and yellow. And every time you play a card, you get to take one of those tokens off the board and you start with 2 random ones. And at the end of the game, if a certain color has the majority in most of the areas, and you have the most of those tokens as well, then you win the game. So you're basically constantly trying to make sure that whatever color you're trying to go for is dominating. Or in this case, try to have like a plan B if yellow is failing but blue is rising, that you also still have enough blues to possibly get to the victory there. Now I'm really bad at this game because two rounds before the end I was already out of the game basically, because I was betting on too many horses and I realized very quickly that I couldn't get enough tokens. So I think the game was okay. I'll play it. I won't be super excited about it, but I won't be super down on it. I'll just say like, yeah, okay, all right, let's go, let's play. Also because it doesn't take long to play. It's pretty straightforward. But yeah, like I said, games like these, like Bluff and I don't know, I want to say strategy, but that sounds really dumb because I like strategy games. But just Bluff and trying not to show your hand, and you have to make sure you don't play your cards too quickly as well, because once you play a card, it's gone for the rest of the game. So you can technically keep all your cards for the last round, but I don't think that's very beneficial either. Anyway, I'm going on too long about this. You've seen the pictures. We played first edition, by the way, but second edition, I don't think there's many differences aside from asymmetric powers and different art. Anyway, that was The King is Dead. Next up is Mysterium Park. Now, Mysterium Park, I used to own Mysterium, but when I moved to a different place that was smaller back then, I sold it. Of course, now I have a bigger place again, but I'm not going to buy it again. And the reason for that is I'm not good with co-op games. I mean, I do have co-op games, but I don't like too many of them. Like Spirit Island, I love, for example. But Mysterium, it's like Dixit, you know? Same with Mysterium Park. It's like Dixit, just more elaborate. Like in this case, Mysterium Park, the park owner, it's like a circus, has gone missing, and you have to find out what happened to him. So once again, there's a ghost, and the ghost will give you and the other players some pictures that look like extreme weird art paintings or whatever. And then based on that, the ghost is hoping that you'll choose a scenario on the board, because they look at the board, look at their cards. Okay, if I give this card to him or her, they'll know I'm talking about this. Well, they can't talk. They'll know that I'm thinking about this. And I'm bad with that because I always overthink, you know. But even though I did pretty well in this game, we all lost by the second round. Because the first round, I think, were locations, then it's people, and then weapons, or in a different order, I don't know. But basically, we were really bad. And it's a shorter version of Mysterium, but it was still longer than half an hour though. Like, once again, I'll play it, but I'm not going to get my hopes up of actually winning, because same with Dixit, no matter how hard I try, I seem to always mess it up or think way too far instead of keeping it simple. Okay, that was Mysterium Park. Let's move on to two games that I own, but I no longer have here with me. The first one is Hanamikoji. It's a 2-player game, and it's one that I own, like I said, but I lent it out to my friend because he's trying to get his girlfriend into gaming, and I think it's a really good game for that as well. So what happens is you have the geisha streets, that's what it's called after. The Hanamikoji is the name of the geisha street in Japan. I visited it, but I don't know the city anymore. Just Google it, or I'll put it up on the screen so you can see it, whatever, right? So anyway, in the game, you have a bunch of geishas, I think 7 or 8, if I'm not mistaken, and you will draw X amount of cards in the beginning of the game, and you have 4 actions. Okay, the other person also has 4 actions and the same amount of cards. On your turn, you draw a card, you choose 1 action, and those actions can be like remove 2 cards from the game, keep 1 card secret that you reveal at the end of the game, choose 3 cards. Okay, your opponent will choose 1. You will keep 2, and the other one is create 2 sets of 2 cards, and then your opponent will choose 1 of the 2 sets, and you will keep the other set. Okay, so what happens is all those cards are instruments or things that the geishas like. Okay, every card belongs to 1 geisha. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to convince the geisha to come over to your side. Okay, and you do that by having the majority on your side. So by playing the cards. Now, some cards have 5 geishas, 5 instruments or whatever. On other cards only have 2. So it is very tricky business. You can win the game by having 11 points, I think. And you can also win the game by convincing 4 areas, 4 geishas to come to your side. And the 11 points is depending on the geisha. Okay, every geisha has a certain amount of points. Some have 5, I think, and 4 and 2 and 1. I'm just winging it here, okay? I didn't do research. I did play it last month, but very early in the month. So I'm just giving you the broad strokes, okay? It's not a how to play video, but I will make one for Hanamikoji though, down the line. So anyway, you can play very quick games. It goes back and forth and so on. I really like it. At the end of the round, if you haven't decided yet, if it doesn't show who won, then the geishas stay. So if they like you, they'll stay with you, and you play another round. Okay, so it's not like they reset to the middle. It doesn't happen like that. So it'll make it easier next time to win. Okay, so that was Hanamikoji. Next is Jaws of the Lion. So basically, the tutorial version of Gloomhaven. I've had it for a while. I never did an unboxing because I thought too many people did it already. And I finally was able to start it with one of my friends. Just with 2 people. Because Frosthaven is coming. I still have Gloomhaven, which I once played through like halfway. And I want to do all 3 of them. So I said, okay, I'm going to cap it at 2 people. And try to just get through it. Because I got Midara coming. I have here behind me Tainted Grail and so on. There's too many games. So little time. So trying to rush through it, right? And we did the first 3 scenarios, failed the 3rd one, then did the 3rd one again. So I played it 4 times, okay? Which is the highest playing game that I played this month. And we're on a little break now because I'm going to paint the minis that we're using, but I've been very busy. So yeah, it's weird. When you come from Gloomhaven, you go to Jaws of the Lion, it's weird because it's very dumbed down in the beginning. And you want to do all this other stuff that you're used to doing, but you cannot. So it's a bit frustrating at times, to be honest. And also, I underestimated the scenarios because I thought it's going to be a piece of cake, right? But then the 3rd one really caught us by surprise. But no spoilers. But I'm sure if you played it, then you might know what I mean. Yeah, no spoilers. So, okay. So we played that 4 times, Jaws of the Lion. And we're going to try and play it once a week from now on. All right, so now we move on to the games that I own. Okay, first we're going to do all the games that I've played once, which are a bunch, and then we'll continue with the 3 other games aside from Jaws of the Lion that I've played more than once. Okay, so the first one is Bac Bac Rangers. Now this is the first one of 2 games that I bought in Hong Kong at a clothing store. But it's just because they try to promote board games from Hong Kong, right? So I decided to support them and also do an unboxing and everything, and I'll do a playthrough video as well later. So what is Bac Bac Rangers? There's an artist in Hong Kong who makes these guys, these Bac Bac Rangers, and this is basically a game where you are trying to complete the Bac Bac Ranger robot. Okay, so you have robots in different colors, so green, purple, blue, orange, red, and another blue, shade of blue, whatever. Okay, so what happens is you have X amount of cards in your hand, I think 5, and then you have a bunch of cards in the middle of the table, and it's like poker, right? The middle of the table is a river, so you can create your robot by using the cards in the middle or the ones in your hand. If you cannot, if no one can, then you just pass 1 card to the left, draw a new one, and it goes like this. I mean, not draw a new one, you get one from the other person until someone can make a robot. That's very simple. There's one little difference in the rules as well. If you build a robot by using the middle, you get less points. If you're able to do it in your hand, you get more points. Okay, so it's fun, you know, it's a filler. It says 10 to 20 minutes. I think that's even 10 minutes is, I think 5 minutes often is already enough to do it. It's cute, it's small, which I really appreciate with the amount of games I have now. So I liked it, even though I lost horribly at it. All right, next one is Cat's Tsukiji. Now you should watch this unboxing. I mean, just to see what's in the box, because it has the little, you can see it in the box, right? They're all having little cat paws. You put the cat paw over your finger, and then you have to, it's 3, 2, 1, you have to tap a fish in the middle of the table. And if you're the only one who tapped it, you can get it. But if you and somebody else tapped it, you cannot, none of you can get it and it's discarded. So basically you're trying to collect as many fish, trying to collect sets of fish. If someone collects, I think 3 sets of 3 different fish, then you end the game and you get points for it. And other people also get some points if they manage to do it as well in the same round. But anyway, very simple game, but a lot of fun because of the pause thing, okay? Because it also makes your finger longer, all right? So also gonna do a playthrough of this soon, hopefully. All right, so those are 2 already. Now let's go over to a bigger one. It's A Wonderful World, the Heritage Edition. This was on my shelf of shame or shelf of opportunity or shelf of joy or whatever you want to call it. This was there for quite a while. Now, basically people compared it to Seven Wonders, but a little bit different. And I can see why they would compare it, but I only played it solo, okay? So, is it worth it keeping it like this? Not really. Okay, so I only played it solo because of COVID and everything, and I really wanted to try it, so it ended up being a solo game. And then there's no drafting, obviously. So just think about, if you think about this game, think about Seven Wonders, but then futuristic setting, and every card, well, most of the cards that you build give you instant resources, but the resources that are gained, you have like, I'll show you the back of the box again. You have 4, is it? 5? 5 resources, okay? You see it here, all right? So if you get resources from here, and you have cards that you can build with these resources, and you build them, right? Then, and those cards give you the resources for the next income, then you can get the income immediately. Now, which is not the case in Seven Wonders, of course. So technically you can have a huge combo where you have a bunch of cards that are almost ready, almost completed. You get the resources from the first one, that will complete some of them, which in turn will give you resources for the next, and so on, so on, so on, so on. And there's only 4 rounds. You're competing for majority in some cases. Some cards give you end-team scoring points and so on. It looks a bit overwhelming the first time because you have cards in your hand like, what am I going to do? I don't know. So my first game I did horrible. Now I know how to play better, but I ended up only playing once because of various reasons. But I really want to play more, and I want to also discover the whole campaign thing and so on. But I want to play with more than just myself. That sounds wrong. I want to play with more people, and I think it'll be better than as well with the drafting phase and so on. Anyway, this is It's a Wonderful World. I'm gonna put it on the side. Next, we have Tangled Timelines. All right. So this is a Kickstarter game, and it had quite a special campaign near the end because there was a huge shipping problem and unhappy people and so on. But anyway, that's over now. I have my copy. I'm happy, and I really like the arts. And even the gameplay is cool, but once again, I only played solo. It's not worth it for solo. I'm gonna say that right off the bat. It's not worth it for solo, but I think it's cool with more people. Even though I haven't tried it yet, I'm pretty sure it will be. Because all these cards, every single card, they have different abilities. For example, you have an assassin, right? You have an apprentice assassin, you have a master assassin, you have a legendary assassin, and a novice assassin. Now, all those assassins have the same ability. But assassin is letter A. But you have a card for every letter of the alphabet, and they all have a different power. So those are a lot of powers. And then there's a lot of variability, like which characters come out in the timeline, which characters do you save, because if you save them, you can use them in a future turn. Because on your turn, you can use 4 cards. But if you're saving people, characters, then you can use them again later on and basically extend your collection, and you get points at the end for the longest lines. For instance, you have A, B, C, D, E, stuff like that. Have a chain of letters that gives you points, or just having the 4 different sets of one character, like novice, legendary, master, and was apprentice. Yeah. So that set would also give you points. So you're trying to collect those things together. yeah, I'm not gonna go deeper into the rules. Might also have a how to play video later, because the small games are easy to do for how to play, right? But I like it. I like it, even though the campaign didn't end as well as it should have. I like it. I'm happy with it. Okay, next is a game from the company that I'm now starting to become a fanboy of, and that is Roxley Games, and it's Super Motherload. Now, this is also a computer game, by the way, but I had heard that this game was really good, and then I just said, okay, I'm just gonna buy it, see what happens. And we played it, and I do think it's really good. It's really nice. So what are you doing? You're on Mars, and you're basically trying to get all these minerals, but you're doing it through deck building. You start with a bunch of people, different colors, that help you drill or help you bomb, or they might give you special powers. But as you're drilling up these minerals and everything, right? And those minerals, they don't go in your bank or whatever. No, you put them on the 4 decks in front of you, because those 4 colors I just showed you, they're also in front of you. They're upgrade decks, and all these other pilots who are drilling for you, they cost money. So as you put your gems and everything on them, you pay them. So if you reach their cost, then you can put them in your hand if they have that ability, or in your discard pile. So basically you're buying them, and you can also see what the other person is trying to do. And another thing, if you have one dig action, right, digging or drilling or bombing or whatever, everything that you unearth, everything that you get, you have to put on one person only. Unless, once again, there's a special guide that allows you to divide it. And there's some pilots that give you an extra turn. There's some pilots that allow you to drop cards. There's a lot of different actions in there. And which is also cool is that you have the first board where you're digging. And once you reach the end, once you've unearthed all the artifacts, which is like 3 most of the time, a new board is placed underneath, and then another one. And if you play with 3 or more, it's 4 boards that all link together. If you think, I don't have that kind of table, normally when you would place a 3rd board, the first one goes away. So it keeps the space nice and tidy. But of course, if you want to have epic pictures, then you just leave it on the table, right? So anyway, it's cool. I like it. It's pretty as well to see. It works really nicely. And yeah, I'm really happy with Super Motherload. And yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about whether I won or lost, because in general I lost. So whatever I'm talking about, you can basically think like, he probably lost. Okay, so next one that I want to talk about is this huge game. And to go along with the game, there's someone in the background doing dishes, and it works a little bit because it's water you hear. So this game, oh my goodness. Oh, Tidal blades. Okay, now I'll show you the back just once, and then I'm putting it away. Okay, so Tidal blades, Heroes of the Reef. I was very happy to snatch up a copy because I didn't back the Kickstarter and regretted it afterwards. So here we go. There you go, back of the box. All right, so there we go. Tidal blades. This is the second game that I played of Tidal blades. First one was horrible because I had a headache, and my friend had her baby, and very sadly the baby was feeling very bad, but that led to the game being very long, and that combined with the headache was horrible. So I didn't really enjoy my first play. My second play this month, right, last month, I was healthy and I really enjoyed it. I mean, I think it's a good game. I'm not gonna say it blows me out of the water. It's really pretty. It's really pretty, but I don't know. I wish there was more, but then I haven't played with the advanced parts yet, so I'm saving my judgment until I play the advanced version with everything, like the monsters and the market actions and the the challenges, yeah, legendary challenges cards, blah, blah, and everything. So I'm waiting for that to see if it can really sway me. But in general, the game is good. You know, you always get something no matter what you're doing. You're keeping an eye on other people. But I have to say as well, the first time you play is just learning, because you're gonna not you're gonna kind of lose sight of, you're going to be losing sight of certain things. And when you play the second time, it's like, okay, I need to do this and this to do that, and then okay, now I get it. You know, you will play a lot better the second time for sure, right? But I like that even though you have the 4 dials on your board, right? The one dial allows you to roll more dice. One dial allows you to recuperate more dice and upgrade them. Another dial allows you to upgrade your characters with specific skills. You draw 2 cards, 2 skill cards, you choose one, and then you'll have that ability for the rest of the game. And then the other one, it allows you to spend fruit to be able to roll more dice. So you can go in certain directions as well, because when you're upgrading dice, you either have to go the left side of your board or the right side of your board. And whenever you complete challenges of those skills go up. So you can really focus on certain areas and really push that. One thing that my friend said is that they thought that it was pretty short because you only have 4 rounds. You can play the advanced version where you have a test round, but still they felt like it should have been longer. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about that, to be honest. I'm still on the fence. Like I said, I want to play more, maybe play more of the other characters, see what happens. I'm a kind of guy who would always go for the skills because it's just fun to have more things to do. But I do agree with I want to do more stuff, but I cannot. But this is part 1. I'm also very curious to see what part 1 and part 2 is going to be. Apparently a dungeon crawl, but I don't know. We'll see. So that was Tidal Blades. All right. So next is Sailing Toward Osiris. Okay. This one I played very, very recently. We didn't play with the expansion. We just played the base game. And also didn't play with the advanced stuff, just regular base game. And it's enjoyable. You know, the pharaoh has passed away, which is not an enjoyable fact. The game is enjoyable, and his barge is sailing through the Nile, and he's sailing towards Osiris, right? And as it goes through different areas, different sections, those are game rounds. So the first round, second round, third round, last round. Okay, so as the barge is going through it, you get to do several actions. So in the first round, well, in any round, you're going to draw a certain amount of workers out of the bag. So you don't know what kind of workers you're going to get. And those workers can get you grain or wheat, whatever. They can get you bricks. They can get you stone as resources. All those 3 you need to build buildings. And the caveat is, the difficulty is, you have 2 types of workers. You have the masters, which are screen printed. They can go anywhere on the map, so it's very easy to use them. But the regular ones, they can only go where the barge is. So you're limited to a certain amount of pieces. And then there's also like 4 or 5 workers that are available for purchase in the market. And there's like 1 or 2 that are left in the bag. And whoever is first player gets to look in the bag in the beginning of the round. So they know basically what the other person has behind their screen. But you can then become first player next round if you pass first, and then have that privilege as well. You also have city cards that give you abilities or resources. You can build buildings. If you build 3 buildings in one line, then they give you points at the end of the game. If you have 4 buildings in one area, in one section of the map, they also give you points. If you build a building in an area where the barge is, it also gives you an extra point. So all of these things, you know, give you points. And it just looks nice. The pictures are nice. Of course, the more people play, the better it looks, especially as it slowly gets built up. We played with 2 players, which was okay, but the map is already crowded with buildings when you start off. So picture-wise, it doesn't look that good, to be honest. If you play with more people, it slowly gets built up, which looks nicer. But anyway, those are just details. I like it. It's a worker placement game. Also has some card play, has some bluffing and everything. And yeah, it's a good game, even though I lost. But then, you know, when don't I lose? So, next is the very wonderful and also Kickstarter game, Chai. All right. really nicely produced. Although the back of the box doesn't really show it, to be honest. I mean, you see it a little bit. You can see the teacups and everything, right? A very nice game where you're collecting ingredients, collecting tiles from the market, or other ingredients from the pantry. You're trying to, it's your basic collect and complete contracts game, right? You're serving tea, and some people want other kind of tea, and so on, so on, so on. And when you complete a contract, you put your token of your tea in one of the cups and get a bonus token. And there's 5 cups. When the 5 cups are full, the round ends. Next round. Okay, there's only like 5 or 6 rounds. And then also, if you are completing an order that is not your tea, that's not your color, you have to give $1 to somebody else to be able to use their token and put it in the cups. And there's an advanced version where at the end of the game, you also count up all the tokens in the cups. Whoever has majority, they win, right? So they win points, extra points. It's really nice. I especially like the market action is very special because you can chain certain ingredients, you get more for a cheaper price, and so on, so on, so on. That's what makes the game shine the most. Of course, the components are really beautiful, really nice. I have to stop saying that I might make a video about this too. I might, down the line, but there's so many games to make videos of. If you have a request, you say, I want to see how to play a review of that game, let me know in the comments. But yeah, so Chai, really nice game, really cool, really enjoyed playing it, especially with people who have not, it's a good gateway game, or just a good game if you want to chat and just chill. Really good. And of course you should drink tea, right, during the game. Okay, next game is Nations, the dice game. All right, Nations, the dice game. So I don't own the regular Nations because that would take way too long to play, but I do own this plus the Unrest expansion, and I like it. I really do. You have X amount of buildings that are out that you can buy. You have a nation with asymmetric powers, or you can do the ones without powers, but that's kind of like, not powers, you just get other starting dice and other starting discs. Because this is a dice game, obviously. So you're going to roll your dice, and you're going to get swords, or you're going to get grain, or you're going to get bricks, or you're going to get books, a variety of things. The books, they'll put you forward on the books track and give you points every round if you're first. The bricks, you use them to complete wonders if you buy the wonders first. The grain you can use to buy certain, and gold is also a resource, sorry. Grain you can use to get like end of year scoring bonuses most of the time. And swords you can use for end of year scoring bonuses as well, or to conquer areas who will then give you things. And then the money, you can use that to hire certain buildings as well, that you can then put on your player board, and they will give you more or different style of dice. Because you have your basic white dice, but you have the special dice, right? You have the blue dice, the red dice, the green dice, which are the unrest dice, and so on. So, and you do that like 4 times, 4 different ages, and at the end you score your points, and so on and so on. But I really like it. It's quick, it's easy to understand. I love dice rolling, and yeah, it's just a cool game. And yeah, I think I lost that one too. I'm going to stop saying that I win or lose because I forgot, and I don't think people really care. If you do care, say it in the comments and I'll tell you, but otherwise, whatever. Okay, next is, we have 5 games left that I played once. Agricola. I was never interested in this game. So why do I own it? Well, I was at a board game store with my wife, and she said, I want that one. It's cute. It has animals. It's about farming. Let's get it. So we got it, and we played it. And I was like, okay. And then now we played it again so many years later, and I had more fun. I went mass sheep. I don't know why. But it was fun. It was more pleasant, especially when I read more about the advanced version. Because we've always played the family version. Again, the family version now, because it's been so long. But now I want to play with the advanced rules, which will give you cards in your hands and drafting and everything, which I think will make it much more interesting. And also now that I like it more, I want to upgrade it. You know, get meeples and everything, get an insert, all that kind of goodness. So yeah, that's Agricola. That one I won. Sorry, I was gonna stop saying that, but anyway. And I think I also have to say that I really don't care about winning. If I lose, no. If I lose because of a really stupid mistake, then I'm not happy. If I could have won, but I did something stupid and I realized or I forgot something that I should have remembered, then I don't like it. But if I lose and I feel like I just played my game, I don't care. Okay. Same as if I win, I'm not going to be like, ha, I beat you or whatever, but whatever. So, Kero or Kero. It's kerosene, right? So Kero, I guess. So this one, where did I discover it? I think just browsing Amazon and people saying, oh, this is a hidden gem. And this is a hidden gem. It's a 2-player game. It is so cool. It is really cool. It is hilarious. So I made an unboxing of this. I made how to play already. Check it out if you want to. And I'm going to do a playthrough as well. So that'll be on my channel as well very soon. This is my next playthrough. 100% certain next playthrough. So in Kero, basically, I'm just going to talk about 2 things that I like about the game, okay? You can watch the other video if you want to know more. But it's like Borderlands setting, the game, you know, and you both have a truck, which is also, I think I'm just going to show you again. Because when I talk about this, I have to show the truck, right? I cannot not do it. Basically, the truck is, it's a sand timer. And basically, whenever you're filling it up, it's like you're getting some gas. And then when you're losing it, you're driving around trying to get resources. And when you're trying to get resources, you're rolling dice as many times as possible to get what you want. But if you roll a fire, then that die goes away. So it's very stressful, even though there's ways around it. And the cool part is when you want to fuel up your truck, the other person has to roll fires as quickly as possible to stop you from fueling up more. It's hectic. It is really funny. It's really cool. Yeah, I cannot say. And it's beautiful as well. The components are nice. Yeah, I really love it. Go check out the video. If you want 2-player games and have this little spark, and I'll be like, no, because of course you're going to try to influence each other. Yeah, try this one. Kero is really, really nice. Check out the video and check out the playthrough. By the time, I mean, it's just time stamped, right? At the moment, there's no video, but maybe by when you're watching this, there is one already. And if there's not one, it'll be there soon. All right, next are these 2 behemoths. I'll talk about this one first. So, Dice Throne Season 1 Rerolled. I had played it solo already. And then this month I played it 1 versus 1 with my neighbor. We played the monk. I was the monk versus the night elf, moon elf. The moon elf versus the monk. And I got my butt kicked, but at least it was close, right? Yeah, it's just a dice chucker with some cards, right? It has its typical amount of luck with any dice game, which I don't mind. It looks so beautiful. It's so nice. And yeah, bye-bye. And yeah, it's just, I want to try out every character down the line. It's just quick fun. You know, to me, it's like beer and pretzels, even though I don't eat pretzels and I don't tend to drink beer when I game. But anyway, it's just quick, good fun, you know, even though the games can be a bit longer depending on your character you're using, but it's really, really nice. All right, and then his brother. No, it's not his brother. His brother would be Season 2, right? I guess the child of Season 1 and 2 is Dice Throne Adventures. Okay, this is when you take 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, how many characters from the other boxes from Season 1 or Season 2, and you take them on an adventure. You take them on a dungeon crawl, as you can see. All right, you can see they're standees, but the version that I bought, which is, I bought the legendary version basically with the legendary pledge, I think, in the Kickstarter. It has minis and everything. and some foil cards, which are really nice. You can check the unboxings as well, because the original one had some surprises. Anyway, so it's really nice. It's difficult though. Do not underestimate it. It looks cartoony, but it's quite difficult. We made it through the first portal crawl, because it's always portal crawl, boss fight, portal crawl, boss fight, portal crawl, boss fight, until you reach the final boss. We haven't done the boss fight yet. So we're waiting to meet up with our third friend again, so we can play the boss later on. And yeah, so it's cool. You basically play regular, like season 1 and 2, but you fight weaker enemies. And of course they wear you down, okay? But you can get loot, and there's like this whole loot table system where you roll a die and then it decides what you get. And at the end of the mission, the end of the scenario, you can go and buy more cards if you want to. You get to choose which cards you keep or remove cards from your deck. So there's some deck management, which is also nice. You get stronger. Yeah, it's cool. I liked it. All right, one more game, and then it's on to the games that I played more than once this month. All right. This one was very far. It's Otys. Now, Otys I bought because it was on sale on Amazon. It was so dirt cheap, and it looked cool. It looked nice. It looked pretty. It is pretty. And yeah, I bought it. So it was on my shelf of shame for ages, or shelf of joy, or shelf of shame, whatever. So it was on there for so long. So this is your player board, right? And this is the main board where stuff happens, right? And these are your divers. Now, very quickly, your divers have actions, okay? They have certain abilities that you can activate in these 5 slots. And then the 3 that are on surface, they are useless. So basically you have to use a diver, and then they go back to the top, and the other one slide down a little bit, okay? Or you can use different ways to get people down faster, but then other people will go up. So yeah. And there's even a guy who has a spy, which means that if he's like a level 1, you can copy the action of the other player whose diver is at level 1. So stuff like that. So it's really cool. It's brain burnery, right? The only thing that I didn't like as much was that the game ends when you reach 18 points. Yeah. And it just stops. You know, it's a bit like Splendor, and I don't like those because there's not really a lot of endgame scoring in this. I think close to none actually. So it's kind of like, I wish. I don't know. I think I'm just used to having endgame scoring. I mean, I won this, but I was like, oh, so I guess it's over now, because yeah. So the whole game itself is good. I liked it. You're moving the divers around, thinking what you're going to do. Okay, or I need more batteries to do this. I want to go to the shop and buy some stuff, because the cool part is it's also gather resources and fulfill contracts, right? It's a game like that. But in other games, you get the resource, you put it in front of you, but not here. You get the resource and you put it on the level of the diver that you used. So the resources have to be on a certain level, and then you look at the contract cards, and then you can fulfill them. So that makes it a lot more difficult, because you have to make sure, okay, I need to get the guy who gets me white resource down, and I think white is platinum, whatever. So it's really, you really have to use your brain in this game. You really do. So if that seems interesting to you, give Otys a try, because it tends to be cheap in general. I didn't get much play, but it's a good game. It's a decent, solid game. But only play with 2 players, so I don't know how it plays with 4 or so. Then, the first game we played twice this month is Race for the Galaxy. Okay, I should say we only played it once, because we could have played it lots more. My friend got it for me for my birthday. Thanks again. And I used to own it when I was in Belgium, but I think I said that last video as well. But yeah, now I got some expansions. I got more planets, more starter planets, and it just makes it so much more interesting with more cards and so on. Games like this, more cards are always better, right? And it's the usual, like I said in previous videos, your cards are also your money. So if you have a card that costs 4, you need to pay 4 other cards to be able to place that one. And this is already nice. So you need to make tough choices, right? And also the fact that you have 5 different phases, and you, on your turn, you choose which phase you activate, and you get the bonus action. But if the other player chose a different phase, they only get the regular action. But then you get to do the regular action of their action, but they get to do the bonus action there. So you're kind of also looking at the other player, constantly thinking like, what are they going to do? Are they going to produce this turn? Are they going to explore? Are they going to settle? But if they settle, I don't really need to settle. Then I can do this and be safe. You can even play the advanced version where if you 2 players, where you both play 2 of those phases. So really interesting. Plays really fast as well. And it's really cool to find combos and to look for different cards and so on. Yeah, I really like Race for the Galaxy. I used to own Roll for the Galaxy too, and I'll probably own it as well in the future because I really like that one too. Because dice. Next one I'm not going to spend too much time on because it's Ruins Deathbinder, and I have everything for this one. I have the unboxing, I have the how to play, and I have the playthrough. Okay, so this is a nice game. It takes a lot longer than it says on the box, but it's enjoyable nonetheless. Okay, if you want to have a dungeon crawl a la Slay the Spire or any roguelike, then this is it for you. And there's also one of the cool parts about it is that it's a deck thinning game. So you start with a huge deck of cards, but every time you attack, let's say you attack with 3 cards, you can only keep 1. So your deck is thinning throughout the game. You can get cards back, and you can make sure that you can keep more cards through upgrades and so on. But those are a part of the game, right? Making those choices. So you can see the white cubes here. Those are all upgrades. So yeah, only thing I want, and then I think that's what I said in my review as well, I want more. More different monsters, more different, especially bosses. There's not enough bosses in the game. I want more of those. And then they'll make me very happy. Anyway, Ruins Deathbinder, check it out if you like it. And I said it takes longer, but nothing stops you from just doing 1 level, and then you're done in like 30-40 minutes. Okay, so it depends on if you want to do all the levels, you'll be playing for a couple of hours for sure. And then the last game that I played twice was Great Western Trail. Okay, I spoke about this in my last video as well, I think. This came off my shelf of shame not long ago. I liked it so much that since then I have an insert, I bought the expansion, and I bought bags to put the tokens in. So there might be other upgrades coming. And even though they said that there is a new version coming from Great Western Trail, I most likely will not be upgrading to that version. Probably I'll get Argentina and New Zealand, but the basic one, I don't think I will, because I've already invested in this one, so why would I? I really like the expansion. The expansion adds a lot, and this is one game that really annoyed me the last time we played. Because if you know the game, if you've played before, then you know that you place your branchlets or houses, okay? And at the end of the game, the last 2 rounds, or 3 rounds even, I always thought I was at Minneapolis. I think it's Minneapolis, like 10 or 13 points. I don't know how much exactly. I thought I had already put a branchlet, but I didn't. I put a branchlet before it. And I kept saying, all right, I just need to make sure I get to there. I have enough cattle to make sure that I get there, and I'll be fine, okay? And then I said that every round, but I never put the branchlet down. At one point, I even had my last branchlet. I was looking at the board thinking, okay, where can I maximize my points? Where can I maximize my points? And I went somewhere else because in my mind, I was already at that city. I had already unlocked it, but I didn't. So at the end game scoring, suddenly my friend says like, hey, you never put your branchlet there. I'm like, what? So those were 10 points. Well, I guess 6 points after we counted that were gone. And I lost by 1 point. That, my friends, hurts. Because I was feeling good about myself, right? Like, okay, I'm doing fine. This is going to be good. It's going to be great. And then when you do something stupid, something so stupid. And then yeah, it's not a good feeling. Anyway, that was it. Those were all the games that I played, all 28. I hope you enjoyed the video, and next month I'll have another one. Maybe I'll play the same amount of games, maybe not, but yeah, I've already played one, so for sure there's gonna be one. Okay, that's it. This was me. I was Joachim. Still will be Joachim tomorrow and forever until the day I die, whatever. This was so many games, so little time. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time, and don't forget to like and subscribe and everything else. All right, bye bye.